My sister's son spit into my plate at dinner and said, "Dad says you deserve it." Everyone laughed. I quietly got up and left. That night Mom messaged, "Don't contact us again." My brother reacted with a thumbs up. I replied, "Understood. Mortgage autopay ends tomorrow." By 11:42 p.m. the chat exploded. I nearly flipped the damn table. I had never been more tempted to cause a scene in my life. It wasn't just the spit, though watching Caleb lean over, lock eyes with me and deliberately hawk a wad into my mashed potatoes was disgusting enough. It was what he said after that turned my stomach. "Dad says you deserve it." I stood. My chair scraped the floor. For a second I didn't even feel like I was in my body anymore. 10 years old or not, that kid knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what those words meant. And the way he said it, proud, loud, as if it were some family joke I wasn't in on, made me want to say something that would have burned every bridge in that room to ash. But I didn't. I sat back down. Fully. My hands were shaking. Not because I was afraid, because I was furious. Jenna looked up just long enough to smirk at me before going back to scrolling through her phone. Alex was still chewing, clearly unbothered. My mom across the table didn't even blink. She cut her meatloaf like nothing had happened, like spit on a plate was just another Tuesday. Then Jenna laughed. Loudly. Caleb followed, laughing like it was the funniest thing he'd ever seen. Alex wiped his mouth and muttered something about classic Caleb. My mother's lips curled just slightly into a smile. No one said it was wrong. No one asked me if I was okay. I realized in that moment that I wasn't angry at Caleb. Not really. I was angry at them for creating him, for shaping him into a mirror of themselves, and for expecting me to keep showing up like none of this ever happened. Like I was the idiot for staying quiet while they treated me like a walking ATM with a side of emotional target practice. I stood again, this time calmly. I picked up my purse, left my shoes by the door, walked out without a word, got into my car and drove back to my apartment barefoot. When I got home I didn't cry. I didn't call anyone. I just turned on the kettle and sat there, quiet, processing. Then I opened my laptop and went into my banking dashboard. My name was tied to Mom's mortgage account. I had been covering the shortfalls for the last year and a half, quietly, automatically, every month. Jenna always assumed I was doing fine, and guilted me into paying for things she couldn't afford right now. Alex had borrowed money I knew I'd never see again. And somehow, even though they had more support, more praise, and more love growing up, I was the one expected to sacrifice. At 9:12 p.m. my phone buzzed. "Mom, don't contact us again." No explanation. No context. Just that. I stared at the message for a full minute. Then I typed back, "Understood. Mortgage autopay ends tomorrow." I watched the chat go quiet. Then at 11:42 p.m. it exploded. First it was Jenna. "What are you talking about?" Then Alex. "You're joking, right?" Then Mom. "Don't be petty, Sarah." Then another message from her. "You're being dramatic." Then Jenna again. "You're seriously going to screw over your own mother?" Then Caleb sent a laughing emoji. Then a crying one. Then a thumbs down. And then Alex again. Thumbs up. I didn't reply. I turned off my phone and went to bed. At 7:03 the next morning, there was a knock at my door. It was Danielle, my cousin. She was holding coffee in one hand and a bag of everything bagels in the other. She didn't wait for an invitation. She walked in, dropped the bagels on my counter and smiled. "Took you long enough," she said. I didn't say anything. I just poured 2 mugs of coffee and sat down across from her. Because she was right. I should have done this years ago. Danielle didn't ask what happened when she walked in. She just handed me coffee and said, "Took you long enough." We sat at my kitchen table while the bagels cooled between us. For a while neither of us said much. Then she opened her laptop, looked at me and said, "Okay, time to clean house." She meant it literally and financially. While I tossed out the reminders of my family, the jacket Jenna left here 6 months ago, Caleb's broken Nintendo controller I was apparently supposed to fix, Danielle pulled up my bank accounts, loan records and the autopay list I hadn't touched in years. "You've been paying their bills like a full-time accountant," she said. "No wonder they treat you like an employee." There was more than I remembered. My name was still attached to Mom's cable plan, Jenna's dentist from 2 years ago, and even the family's Disney Plus account. I was still paying for the Netflix account that only Caleb used. Every single cut. Jenna's car loan was trickier. I had co-signed years ago when she told me she needed help just for 6 months to get approved. She never refinanced. Never mentioned it again. I called the lender and filed a release request. It would take a few weeks, but it would be done. Danielle looked up at me. "You do realize how big this is, right?" I nodded, but I didn't really feel it yet. I just felt lighter. Not happy. Just not crushed. In the following days I started noticing how much more space I had in my life. Real space. I wasn't constantly checking my account. I wasn't getting passive-aggressive texts about money or errands or, "Can you take Caleb to his appointment next week?" I had silence. Cold, still, unfamiliar silence. And I liked it. I bought a new mattress. Got my hair cut. Signed up for a Thursday night pottery class with Danielle. It felt weird to do something just because I wanted to. But I was learning. The group chat stayed dead. Not a single message. I waited, but nothing came. Until 2.5 weeks later when Jenna sent a single text. "You're a terrible human being." Caleb cried when he found out he couldn't go on his field trip. "Hope that makes you feel good." No greeting. No explanation. No accountability. I didn't respond. She followed up with a 48-second voice memo. Mostly yelling. Something about loyalty. Family. Her voice cracked when she brought up Caleb. Then it cut off mid-sentence. I didn't listen to it twice. Danielle told me to block her. I didn't. Not yet. Part of me wanted to see how far they'd go. What desperation looked like when entitlement ran out. A few days later, Danielle sent me a screenshot of a Facebook post Jenna made. It was a GoFundMe campaign titled, "Help Caleb Get Through a Tough Year." The photo was of Caleb smiling with a backpack on. The description was vague. Something about unpaid lunches, sudden medical bills, and how certain family members chose to walk away. It had one donation. $10. From our mom. That part stung. Danielle sent it to me with no caption. I just stared at it. I didn't donate. I didn't ask what the medical bills were for. I didn't share the post. But it made something shift in me. I wasn't guilty, I was alert. There was more going on. Jenna never mentioned anything to me about Caleb being sick or needing treatment. And now she was begging strangers for help? For a field trip? No, there was something else. Danielle noticed me staring at the screen and said, "You don't owe them anything, you know." I nodded. But I kept thinking about the word medical. Because if something had really happened to Caleb, they'd never admit it. Not until they were out of options. Another week of silence passed, and for once I didn't spend it waiting for their next move. I was busy. I had my Thursday pottery class with Danielle, I joined a weekend book club at the library downtown, and I finally started sleeping through the night. Deep, uninterrupted sleep. No more waking up at 2 a.m. to check if Jenna had messaged me asking for another small favor. I was beginning to believe they might actually be gone. For real this time. But it never lasts, does it? It was Thursday. I just left class and was walking to my car with a vanilla latte when my phone buzzed in my coat pocket. Unknown number. No voicemail. I didn't answer. Not even a minute later, a message popped up. It was Jenna. "I know you hate me. You have every right to. But Caleb's sick. It's serious. He needs surgery. We lost our insurance a while back and we can't cover it. Please. I'm not asking for myself. Please don't tell Mom I told you. She's already maxed out. I'm just asking for help for him." I stood there in the parking lot, leaning against the driver's side door, reading it over and over again. My first instinct was to delete it and go home. She hadn't even said what the surgery was for. She didn't say, "I'm sorry." She just jumped right into it, assuming I'd still be the one to clean up their mess. I showed it to Danielle that night. "You're going to help, aren't you?" I didn't say anything. She already knew the answer. It wasn't about Jenna. It was about the kid. For all the awful things he'd done and said to me, he was 10. He was a reflection of who raised him, and who let him think that spitting in someone's food was funny. I pulled up my finances again. I'd managed to save a little since cutting them off. Not much, but enough. I ran the numbers, looked at the bills coming up, and asked myself one question. Would helping Caleb make me lose sleep? Yes. If I didn't do it. I messaged Jenna back. "I'll pay 40%. No more. No less. It goes directly to the hospital. Not you." She didn't reply right away. 3 hours passed. I was already in bed when she finally responded. "Are you serious?" Then another one. "Thank you. I mean it. Thank you." The next morning I called the clinic she'd mentioned in the message. Asked for the billing department. I didn't tell them who I was at first, just asked what the process was for contributing toward a patient's surgery. They walked me through it. Caleb was on the schedule, and yes, he needed a partial payment by the following week to hold the spot. I paid exactly 40%. Got a receipt. Hung up. 3 hours later my phone rang. My mom's name lit up the screen. I didn't pick up. She left a voicemail. "I heard what you did for Caleb. I wanted to say thank you. I guess I was wrong about a few things. That was it. No apology. But close. The closest I'd ever get, probably." I didn't call back. Not yet. The next few days were quiet again, but not in the cold, punishing way it had been before. More like something was settling. Then Saturday afternoon I came home to a package on my doorstep. No return label. Just my name written neatly in black marker. Inside was a cardboard box filled with old photo albums. Not digital prints, real photos. Some yellowed at the edges. I flipped through them slowly, sitting cross-legged on the floor. Pictures of me in grade school. Christmas mornings. My first bike. My 7th birthday. Jenna was in almost every one. We looked happy. We looked like strangers. Tucked in between 2 albums was a folded piece of notebook paper. Handwritten. You didn't deserve how we treated you. I was wrong. We were wrong. I'm sorry. No name. But I recognized the handwriting. Part mom, part Jenna. I sat there staring at it for a long time. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to feel. Relief? Validation? Peace? It wasn't any of that. But it was something. A beginning. For a while I didn't touch the box of photos. I slid it onto the shelf in the hallway closet like it might start leaking if I left it out in the open. The note stayed folded inside a book I wasn't reading anymore. I wasn't ready to sift through old memories or unfinished apologies. Not when I still didn't know if any of it was real. Then 2 weeks passed without a word. And just when I started to think the story was over, I got a text from my mother. Dinner. Sunday. Just us. Please come. Danielle was immediately suspicious. She cooking or ambushing? I didn't know. But I went. Not because I trusted her, but because I needed to see for myself if anything had actually changed. I didn't tell Danielle until I was already parked in front of the house. She threatened to drive over and rescue me if I didn't text every hour. It was quiet when I walked up. Porch light on. No yelling inside. No TV blaring. For a moment, I thought she might have forgotten she invited me, until I smelled something I hadn't smelled in years. Apple pie. Homemade. I stepped inside and there she was. In the kitchen, apron on, eyes red. Something was burning. Not the pie, something else. I followed the smell and saw the broken wine glass near the sink, shards scattered across the floor and counter. Her hand was wrapped in a towel already stained dark. She tried to act like it was nothing. Said she dropped it earlier, forgot to clean it up. I cleaned it for her. Rinsed the cut, bandaged her hand. We didn't talk much. Not then. She finally sat down at the kitchen table while I finished setting out the food. Meatloaf. Green beans. Not fancy but familiar. When we started eating, she didn't say anything about Jenna. Nothing about Caleb. Not even about the money. She just asked me one question. Are you happy? It hit harder than I expected. I told her I was. And it was the first time I'd ever said it without needing someone else to believe it. I was paying my bills. I was sleeping at night. I was waking up without dread. That was enough. Then she told me something I never thought I'd hear from her. I wasn't fair to you. I saw you as someone who could take it. So I gave you everything to carry. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She just sat there with her bandaged hand and a half-finished plate, looking smaller than I remembered. We didn't hug. I didn't stay long. When she asked if I wanted to see Caleb, I said no. It was the first time I told her no without bracing for what would come next. She just nodded. No anger. No guilt trip. I left before dessert. 3 days later, Jenna texted. He wants to see you. He wrote you something. I know you don't owe us anything, but I'm trying. I ignored it. Another 2 days passed and a package showed up at my door. No return address, just my name and handwriting I recognized. Inside was a folded sheet of lined paper with a pencil drawing. Me and Caleb on a park bench. I looked like a potato with hair, but it was clearly me. Below it, in thick, messy letters. Sorry I was mean. Thank you for helping me not die. Love, Phil. I sat on the floor for a long time holding that piece of paper. It was ridiculous. It was perfect. That night, I wrote a short note and mailed it back. Thanks for your drawing. I'm glad you're okay. No smiley face. No promises. Just the truth. 3 days later, there was a knock on my door. It was Jenna. I hadn't seen her in person since the night Caleb spit in my food. She looked completely different. No makeup. Hair in a loose ponytail. She wasn't wearing the designer boots she used to flaunt. And for the first time in years, her hands were empty, except for one thing. Her wedding ring. I didn't say anything. Just opened the screen door and waited. She held it up between her fingers. I'm selling it. I should have done it a long time ago. I need to stop pretending I've got it all figured out. I don't. She swallowed hard. Then looked at me. Before I do that, I just needed to say it. I'm sorry, Sarah. For all of it. For how I treated you. For Caleb. For every time I let Mom do it too. I didn't say anything right away. I didn't need to. Then she added, and this caught me off guard. Talk to Mom. She's thinking about selling the house. Moving closer to you. She says she wants to start over. I blinked. That was not part of the plan. Not part of any version of this story I'd ever imagined. She reached into her pocket and handed me a small envelope. Inside was a check. It wasn't for everything I'd paid over the years, but it was something. 4 digits. Enough to make my breath catch. It's from both of us, she said. Then turned and walked back to the car where Caleb was sitting in the back seat watching me quietly. He waved. I waved back. I stood in the doorway long after they pulled away. Caleb's wave stayed with me. It wasn't overdone or dramatic, just a small motion like he meant it. Like he understood something now that he hadn't before. Maybe he did. Or maybe he was just a kid trying to start over in the only way he knew how. I went back inside and stared at the check. It wasn't a huge amount, not compared to everything I'd covered for them over the years, but it wasn't small either. More than enough to say we remember. Enough to say we know what we took. I left it on the counter and didn't touch it for the rest of the night. Danielle came over an hour later. She didn't wait for me to explain. Just dropped her keys in the bowl by the door, kicked off her shoes, and handed me a bottle of wine like we'd already started the conversation. You look like you just got proposed to by an ex, she said, opening the freezer. There's no frozen pizza? I laughed. It was the first time I'd laughed in days. We talked. Not just about Jenna or my mom, but about me. About things I wanted to do. Danielle told me there was an opening at her firm. Administrative, flexible hours, actual benefits. I didn't even hesitate when I said I'd think about it. That used to be a huge step for me. Back then, my brain would immediately flash with all the ways taking care of someone else would get in the way. But there was no one else anymore. Just me. And the idea of that didn't scare me anymore. A few days later, Mom texted me again. It was a photo. A small one-story house with peeling paint, a crooked mailbox, and a swing set in the yard. Thinking about buying this, she wrote. 10 minutes from you. That caught me off guard. It didn't feel like pressure. It felt like possibility. Like she was saying, I want to be close, but I'm not asking for anything. I didn't reply right away. I just stared at the picture. A beat-up little house that looked like it was waiting to be cared for. In a strange way, it reminded me of her. 2 days after that, I came home from pottery class and saw an envelope under my door. No name. No postage. Just my first name written in pencil, a little uneven. I already knew. Inside was a folded card with cartoon bears on the front. The kind you buy from a gas station when you're in a rush. Inside, in a child's handwriting. Hi Sarah. I feel better now. Mom says I can visit if you want. I'm sorry for being mean. I hope you like your job and your new haircut. Love, Caleb. I froze. I hadn't told anyone about the job. Or the haircut. I hadn't posted anything online. That meant Jenna told him. That meant she was talking about me. Not bitterly, not mockingly, but as someone worth knowing. Worth respecting. That felt strange. I didn't cry. I didn't laugh. I just sat down at the kitchen table and stared at the card. The next morning, I opened my laptop and looked at the application Danielle had sent me. I filled it out. Hit send. Then I opened a new tab and wrote Caleb a short reply. Through his school email, not Jenna. Hi Caleb. Thank you for your card. I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm still deciding about visits, but I'd like to write you sometimes. That's okay with me if it's okay with you. 2 days later, another envelope came. This one thicker. Inside was another drawing. Me, Caleb, and Danielle sitting at a table covered in messy little clay pots. His attention to detail was ridiculous. He'd even drawn the crooked handle on my first attempt. Underneath, in red crayon. Someday? That word hit me harder than I expected. He didn't write, can I come over? Or can we hang out? He just gave me space. Someday. He was letting me choose. That night, I sat on the edge of my bed with the drawing in my lap, thinking about how long I had begged for space and how quickly they used to fill it back up with their emergencies. Their needs. Their chaos. And now, suddenly, it was all mine. I folded the drawing gently and slid it into the same book where I'd kept the first note from Mom. Then I picked up my phone and texted Danielle. Fall rolled in fast. The leaves outside my window shifted from green to amber almost overnight. It had been 3 months since Caleb's surgery, 2 since I took the job at Danielle's firm, and about 4 weeks since I last heard from Jenna. I thought the silence would be unnerving. But it wasn't. It was peace. Work wasn't glamorous, but it was stable. I had a routine now. Coffee from the same corner shop each morning, a desk near the window, and co-workers who didn't expect me to fix their lives. Danielle and I carpooled most days. She never said it, but I could tell she liked having me around. I liked it too. One quiet Thursday evening, my phone buzzed. It was Mom. She'd bought the house. The message was simple: I did it. Closing went through. I'll be moving in 2 weeks. You don't have to help, but I'd like to cook for you once I'm settled. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I replied, one dinner. That's all I'm agreeing to. A few days later, another letter arrived. This one wasn't from Caleb. It was from Jenna. Typed, signed. No drawings. No passive-aggressive swipes hidden between the lines. Just a full page of clarity. He talked about shame. About watching Caleb almost die and realizing the only person who stepped up wasn't her or Alex or even Mom, but me. She said she hated me not because I was cruel but because I kept being kind. And it made her see who she wasn't. She wrote, "I know you don't owe me anything. I just needed to say this before I let go of expecting anything back." I didn't respond, but I kept the letter. Then right before Mom's move I got another message. From Caleb. "Hi Sarah. Mom says I can invite you to something. We're having a family dinner. A real one. No yelling. No weird meatloaf. Mom said she'll even use the good plates. You can say no. But I hope you don't." The words "a real one" stayed with me. Danielle raised an eyebrow when I told her. "You trust them not to implode?" "Nope. But I trust myself to walk out if they do." So I went. It was strange from the start. Mom opened the door and actually hugged me. Not a cold, performative thing but an awkward, real squeeze that said I'm trying. Inside, Jenna was already at the table helping set out food. Real food. Not takeout in a pan or frozen pizza. Roast chicken, salad, actual vegetables that hadn't come from a can. And Caleb. He ran up and handed me a napkin folded into a triangle. "I made you a place card," he said. "Says your name and everything." I sat down expecting tension. Waiting for the sarcasm. For someone to snap. For the old rhythms to return. But they didn't. We talked. About normal things. I asked Caleb about school. He told me he liked art now. Jenna mentioned she was interviewing at a local library. Just part-time but steady. Mom said she was trying a walking group for people who forgot how to have friends. At the end of the meal, Jenna handed me a small box. It wasn't wrapped, just taped shut. I opened it slowly. Inside was the old family photo I'd always loved. The one of all of us at the lake when we were kids. I was holding Caleb in the background, though he hadn't even been born yet. Mom said it was the only copy. She wanted me to have it. There was something else in the box. A key. To the new house. In case you ever want to drop by, Mom said. Or leave. No strings. Just, it's yours too if you want it to be. I didn't say anything for a long time. But I stayed. For coffee. For pie. For a moment that finally felt like a family. And maybe, after everything, that was the real ending. Not a perfect one. Just a possible one.